What's up, guys? Welcome to Grant Speaks Canes. If you're rocking with you, then you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. Let's talk about it, man. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good about Miami versus Pitt. Now, just because I feel good don't mean the team gonna go out there and dominate like I really want them to. But I really do feel good about tomorrow's game and tomorrow's matchup. The first things first is Mario, Carson. You guys, this game is important because of the playoffs. But besides the playoff implications, you get to dispel a lot of the talking heads. Right now, Miami's on a rebuild. We're on a narrative, a reputation rebuild. I get tired when it comes when it's in November, people saying, well, Miami always shits the bed in November. If you lose this game, that reputation will stick. If you win this game, this will help rebuild the reputation. I'm tired of hearing people say it's gonna be cold out there. If we lose this game, people gonna say, see, that cold weather Florida team cannot play in the cold that hot weather Florida team can't play in the cold weather. But if we win, we're help rebuilding the reputation. So the most important thing is winning and getting into the playoffs. But there's other side things. I'm watching my daughter on the baby cam. That's why, if you wonder why I keep looking down, I'm on daddy duty. But that is why this game is important. You know, yes, the playoffs, we got our eyes on the playoffs, but with Mario coming in and rebuilding his team, the reputation needs to be rebuilt as well. And you do that by handling things on the football field. When I look at this Pitt game, man, I think we have the advantage because everybody talks about this quarterback that they have in Mason Heischel, and he is good. And he is good. He actually reminds me a little. Y'all are going to be like, you're crazy. But he actually reminds me a little of Cam Ward, right? Now, keep in mind, Cam Ward was, 4 years in, polished Cam Ward. But what I mean by that is this kid is going to hold on to the ball a lot. He has different throwing angles. He will throw it in the deep. He will give his Pittsburgh team a chance. He will give his receivers a chance, which means he'll throw it in dangerous way. And when he's holding on to the ball, he does that. Y'all know how Cam Ward used to do that. Turn his back. Mason tries to do that when the pressure comes, turn your back. He succeeded a couple times, but I've seen plenty of times where defenders have been able to get sacks on Pittsburgh because he feels the pressure, he tries to turn around, and he gets sacked. So I think Miami's going to have a lot of good plays against him, and I think he may get Miami one or two. And it's going to be on the defense, like on the back, because the front seven, I know we're going to get pressure on him. But if he makes a guy miss, can you stay disciplined and stick with your guy? Front seven, we want the pressures, but if you get a chance to bring him down, you got to bring him down because he will hold the ball until one of his wide receivers are open and get that thing out there. And then he can scramble a little bit as well. So I do expect Pitt to try to get the ball out fast. Desmond Reed is their star running back. We don't know if he's going to play, if he's not, but let's be for real. When you're playing the U, Everybody just magically heals. They get Zinzu beans all of a sudden. Now, defensively, Pitt is a zone team. So, Carson, you cannot get caught because Pat Narduzzi has been playing this style of defense forever. I've actually watched several of his coaching clinics. Their base defense is cover 4, but sometimes they drop it to a robber. Sometimes they make it look man. It's actually a pretty cool defense to listen to him explain, how they run theirs, because it's a little different than how other people do it. But they'll have their corners up and like they're going to jam, but then they're going to drop back into cover 4. But then also throughout the game, they may mix in a cover 3. Watching them against Notre Dame, CJ Carr drops back, and the safety, he drops back like he's in cover 4, but CJ turns his head, and as soon as he does, the safety stops, and he doesn't go back into cover 4. They floated to a last-second cover 3, and that safety is able to read CJ Carr's eyes and pick it off. So all the defenders' eyes will be on Carson Beck. Carson, can you get the ball to point A to point B? Can you take the check downs? And can you not get fooled? And one thing about this Pitt team is if they get the pick, they're going to try to go for 6. They've been very good at that this year. I do think Miami's offense is going to need a Malachi Tony in space, break the tackle, go to the house explosive. A Marion, take a slant to the house. There needs to be some type of explosive, because what this Pitt team wants to do is see if can you be perfect. Yes, you can get the check down on first down, but will you take the check down on second down, on third down? And they're not going to be doing a lot of stunting up front. They want to get after the quarterback. They want their players to play free, fast, and loose, so they don't do a lot of stunning and stuff. They want to go after the running back and go after the quarterback. So we're going to have to make plays, right? Sometimes the plays are just there because of the coverage, but the way that they play, the offense is going to have to make the play. So, Pringle, you have been so close to almost getting touchdowns. We're going to need you to break one. Malachi, we may need a punt return to the house, right? We may need a punt return to the house. We're going to have to get some type of explosives, because it's going to be tough to put, I think, 13, 14 play drives without their defense not making a play. So, special teams, Narduzzi tried a fake field goal last week. I think that helps Miami, because I think it turned out so bad for him that I don't know if he'll try this one, but we still got to stay locked in. And speaking of special teams, shout out to Malachi Tony on special teams. I don't think I've talked about this that much, but to be a true freshman returning kicks, and he hasn't turned it over, knock on wood, is amazing, because we used to have punt returners where we'd be nervous every time they fielded it, and for him to take over that job, he's done a good job. Overall, man, I feel good about this game. I really do. I think we were wondering, how would this team respond? Could they reel off 4 in a row? And they've done that, and they've looked impressive. If I was Pitt, I would try to do some of the things that Virginia Tech was doing, but people got to realize that, Mason Heischel, he's not Kyron Drones, which means, yes, he can scoot a little bit, but drones will straight run the rock. So it was like they always had the numbers advantage. That's not going to be the same in this instance. Pitt does. They have two good running backs in Reed and Turner. But overall, I think our D-line can get to Mason Heischel. I think when you look at the way that our secondary has played, they've played disciplined. They've been able to stick with their guys, maybe giving up a play here or there, but Jacoby Thomas coming back, I feel good. This would be a great game for Bryce Fitzgerald. For a quarterback who's a freewheeling quarterback who's going to throw it up there. And don't get me wrong, he has the arm angles, he has the arms, he can make great throws. But we also got a safety back there, not only Jacoby Thomas, but in Bryce Fitzgerald, who can make plays. So this could be a big game for him to have a coming out party. But I feel good about this Miami versus Pitt game. I think Miami handles business. 10th win of the season. We were here last year, up 21-0 on Syracuse. Again, the overarching storyline is playoffs, but underneath the playoffs are tiny little things that can help rebuild the reputation of the Miami Hurricanes. And last year, our reputation took a hit because we were up 21-0 on Syracuse. Mario Cristobal! I'm interested to see how you handle this game, my friend. I'm interested to see if you learned from last year. If there's going to be something different, will you have this team ready? I feel good. We'll see what happens. I'd love to know what y'all think in the comments. I'm out. Peace.